Welcome back, everybody, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where we find ourselves starting off in the rival league tonight, where we have a powerhouse showdown featuring the Pineapples and the Thunderbirds. Pineapples sitting in play-in position right now, and they are looking for some crucial victories, maybe even vault themselves into a playoff position, while Thunderbirds, they're looking to fight for their lives heading into the postseason, and they're just on the outside right now. So this is going to be a fun matchup, and looking forward to it. And joining me in the booth tonight, I got Finn. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. It's gonna be an exciting match. Like you were talking about, Thunderbirds, they're trying to push themselves into a playoff position, and it's easier than people would think. They are the 13th seed, but two of the other teams in their division are tied with a record, and the team that is currently in the playoff position for their division is only one game ahead of them. So it won't take much for them or any of these other teams in their division to push ahead and take that position. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I would have to say the same. Cram being recently added to this Thunderbirds roster, we know what he's capable of. Seems like every postseason you hear the name Cram very often as he makes some crazy runs. So maybe this is what the Thunderbirds need to turn their season around. Sitting at 3-8 right now, not exactly the best look heading into the last few weeks of the season, but there's definitely room for improvement and definitely time for improvement. So this team is looking for a very important win tonight and a chance to prove themselves against the Pineapples team that is hot right now, winning their last few. They took a pretty dominant win on Monday with a 3-1 victory over Lightspeed, and right now sitting at 8-3, if I'm not, or 9-4. Actually, they're looking really good, one of the top teams. But as I said, just on the outside right now. And Finn, these last few wins that you get heading into the play-in tournament can really honestly keep you out of the play-in tournament and maybe get them into the playoffs just overall.
Yeah, and they're crucial. Every game in the league is crucial, but these ones at the end, they're the most important. You got to finish off with a strong season if you want any chance at doing good in playoffs if you're in that position. And also, I know that the server they're not feeling the Thunderbirds tonight with an overwhelming 52 prediction for the Pineapples to 16 for the Thunderbirds. My prediction is for the Thunderbirds. That's a little biased because I'm in their org, but what's your prediction?
I'm never gonna go against Valence. This guy is so good, and as we do get onto the field now, it is time for some teams to prove themselves, and guys like Cram to prove to a lot of people that they still have it. Because Cram just being added to this roster, we don't know what to expect, but we do know to expect that Cram is a very talented player and can get very mechanical. And honestly, just 1v3 this game if he starts to pop off and he is given room. As early pressure is not really being shown by either team. It's just ping pong, trying to show who's going to have the pressure early on in this game. As Scrap's kind of awkward in the midfield, does potentially give the pressure over to the Thunderbirds. The underdog for sure, as you mentioned in the survey, as YSL is going to slot that one into the back of the net for a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Scraps is a challenger sub up from them, and that's a very unfortunate start for him.
Yeah.
As a sub up, you don't want to be the person to own goal, but unfortunately he does put an own goal in, giving Thunderbirds a 1-0 lead early.
Yeah, and that awkward touch in the midfield by Scraps just hit it right to YSL, and he just had to put it on target. I mean, it was an awkward save to be fair, but definitely savable as you mentioned. So the own goal does go down, and Thunderbird's going to take the 1-0 lead. But I have no doubt this Pineapples roster is very capable of scoring very quickly. With guys like Valence, known for their shooting accuracy, trying a shot here from paper, he will not have the accuracy to start off. But the pressure is finally starting to mount a little bit for the Pineapples, aside from a great clear to hopefully switch the sides. Paper, not the best 50, but it will go to the right side where Cram is waiting to collect it. And so far, about a minute and a half gone by, and nothing really showing itself. We had one goal that was not really hard earned, but I don't know what you're seeing out there, Finn, but I'm not seeing too much obvious of who's winning right now.
Yeah, no, the pressure's pretty even so far. Like you said earlier, it's a lot of ping pong where people are just hitting it back and forth, trying to see who slips up first. And so I think, honestly, all these teams got to do is try and get a few more demos in, and it will open the stuff up like they want it to, hopefully giving them open shots.
I think you're absolutely right, and what I've seen so far, it looks like Thunderbirds are very comfortable with the pace of play right now. They're kind of just playing the 50s and letting it really do it itself. As a double commit does come through, the new roster with Cram being added does show a little bit of a flaw right there, as they do double commit, lack of communication. But YSL putting in an awkward one for Scraps. Scraps can barely get a touch, but it will not keep it out of the back of the net, and YSL will get his second goal that he didn't have to do too much work for.
Yeah, and that was a small double commit coming from Paper as Valnce couldn't get a good touch. And that was just an easy shot from YSL, and Scraps there, he didn't have enough just boost or something to put it out of the net, unfortunately letting them score another goal.
And Paper, chance for a double tap here. Cram doesn't get in the way, and very awkward touch, but it will do the job as Isak will race back and get in the way of Valence's shot, and will just come with the price of his life. But an open net opportunity is off the post. Isak will follow up and clean up his first miss, and a 3-0 lead for the underdogs. This is a little surprising to start off.
Yeah, and that was a slightly overcommit from that Pineapples team there. Everybody was pretty far into the Thunderbirds zone, and Valnce just didn't have enough time to get back. Well, he did, but he unfortunately tried to pre-jump and he missed the save, leaving, I believe it was Case, to have a wide open net for a free shot.
Yeah, not me calling him Isak because I forgot who it was or anything, but his Case, very well-known player, but I don't know, Isak just rolls off the tongue nicely. But Scraps is also awkward. For probably the third time this game, Scraps having to make a save. This time it will finally not go in the back of the net. As 3 people for the Thunderbirds, all in one half of the field, but Paper will not have too much problem with the pressure as a banger comes through from Cram, and he's going to put it right past Scraps.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of pressure coming in from this Thunderbirds team as Paper tries to clear it, but Cram is there to put another shot on, and Scraps just doesn't have enough time to get that save off, and it's just...
And the kickoff coming through now, and you're hoping if you're Pineapples that it goes your way, because right now, 2 minutes left to play, you need some quick goals coming through. Scraps has plenty of boost to work with, will take it to the sky. Cram going to go for the pre-jump, knows he has 2 people behind him, and this could get awkward really quickly for the Pineapples' Case, trying to put it on target, almost gets the double. Valnce gets in the way of it, and Paper's going to help get this out of harm's way. Has just enough boost to keep this past the defense, gets it past 2 people, but there's Cram to keep the pressure on. Cram takes a 50 straight down to Case, and Case is going to make this one look a little ugly as 5-0 for the underdog team. Pineapples looking shaky.
Yeah, and that was a great 50 there against Valnce from Cram, leaving the ball just go right down in front of the net, leaving Case to have an easy shot, beating out the Pineapples player for a 5-0 lead here.
And I guess you have to look forward to the next game already if you're the Pineapples. With about a minute and a half left to go, Case is just farming at this point with goal number 3. Give my boy a hat trick because this is getting ugly.
Yeah, and it almost seems like the Pineapples are just slightly giving up in this game, looking forward to the next one, trying to save their energy, and hopefully win games after this because they are not looking good in this one.
And it's even worse when it's on stream like this. This is a very embarrassing start to a series for a team with a really good record, and so far this season, they haven't had too much problems with the lower down teams, but the Thunderbirds, with the new roster look, are looking very scary right now. It's a very offensive heavy team as a banger comes through from Paper just to set up the Brazil, be a good sport, but I don't know if that will do much with the outcome of this game.
Yeah, and that was a good setup there from Valnce, putting it in middle for Paper with just an absolute banger right into the right side of the net. Not much that the Thunderbirds could have done there. That was a really fast shot, and it's not a shutout.
I mean, I guess we take the small victories for the Pineapples here. I'd take a 1-6 game every day over a scoreless game. It just shows you are capable of scoring on these guys, but you can see the nerves are definitely playing a factor, but a whiff comes through. We have ourselves a Brazil to start off the series.
Yeah, I know it's rival, but I would call that slightly a novice moment. That was a whiff that he could not afford to take as the Thunderbirds come out with a Brazil in the first game here.
And not good sights to see. I'm not sure if it's even worth sweating these last minute or so. If you're the Pineapples, I think you could try to just kill the time and not try to prolong the suffering any longer. But right now, if you're the Thunderbirds, do you keep the Brazil or do you keep on farming?
I don't know. If I'm the Thunderbirds, like you said, I just try and, like you said for the Pineapples, I would just try and kill the time here, just get the game over with. It's almost obvious that you're gonna take this one, and you just gotta kind of conserve your mental, use this momentum, and push into the next game.
Probably have to agree with you there, YSL. I think everybody's just in agreement that we want a Brazil, we want to go next game, so it's kind of just gonna take these last few seconds away, unless we have some shenanigans roll around the last 15 seconds or so. But for what I saw in game 1, I wasn't convinced until like 2 minutes had gone by. but I am pretty convinced now that the Thunderbirds are no slouchers, and the survey doing them some injustice as they've shown what they're capable of. Cram sets it up mid, and Case is not going to mess up the Brazil. He knows what's going on, and Thunderbirds going to take a very dominant game one victory.
Yeah, and as we were talking about it, we were talking about how they just added Cram and how we didn't know how that was gonna uh, do with this team. But as we can tell, he didn't have the greatest stat line, but he had a pretty even balanced stat line, and it led to the Thunderbirds getting a victory here. So who knows? It could be what they need to win these games late in the season.
Yeah, and Cram is known for being a very clutch player. And you don't exactly have to be clutch in game one of a series. That's kind of when everybody has the nerves going on, so you can kind of just get by, was doing okay. But I think everybody for Thunderbirds kind of stuck out as looking like they had no nerves affecting them at all. But Pineapples, I cannot say the same, as we did have a bunch of whiffs going on, and most of them resulting in goals. We had an own goal to start off. Pretty much everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong for the Pineapples in game one, but they're not 9-4 for no reason. So I'm pretty confident that going into game two, we'll see a very different script than we did in game one. But Thunderbirds, they showed what they're capable of here in game one.
Yeah, and they had a ton of pressure in this game with 12 shots. That is pretty unheard of. A 12-3 shot count. You don't really see that a lot in these league games, but it came out and it shows why the Thunderbirds took that game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're just being assaulted like that on the defensive end, you can't blame them for giving up so many shots. It's got to be their midfield presence has to be so much better, because it just feel like the Thunderbirds could have three people on one side of the field on the Pineapples half and not get punished for it because of the lack of just banging clears coming out. Valnce will finally start the ball off on the Thunderbirds half, but it's right to Case, who has enough boost to stay with this, but Rio with the sub in taking the place of Scraps, because as you said, Scraps, he had a couple of awkward whiffs. I think he had the own goal. I'm not even sure who it was, but I know it's a team game, and that was definitely a needed change with Rio coming in. As this one is rolling dangerously and almost a starting off goal for Paper, as he had a chance, but the defense does get back in time. Cram pushing this down the field has a shot, in YSL, he came out of nowhere and just helped out Cram a bit here.
Yeah, and it almost looked like it was nice that Cram got that Goomba on Valnce. Otherwise, it looked like he might have cleared it, leaving YSL to have an open net and easy shot to take a 1-0 lead here within 30 seconds, or just over 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out that Goomba, because Valnce, he was not even going for the bump. He wanted the ball, but YSL gets a free open net shot in a very tight angle, but he makes quick work of it, as Valnce is nowhere to get in the way. But Valnce will be the one to keep the pressure on here, as Cram trying to get it past Valnce with no boost. Rio is right there, trying to keep some pressure on, because we haven't seen very prolonged stays for the Pineapples offense so far. As a shot opportunity here for Valnce, and he sends it very wide. Has enough boost to stay with it. And a minute gone by, Pineapples haven't shown us anything that we didn't see in game one already.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of pressure though coming here from the Pineapples, and it's what they need. It might be because they got their third here, replacing the sub Scraps, but they really need to pick it up just a little bit more and put it in a goal or two to take a lead here.
And I think you're pointing out Rio being the starter. That's a big deal for a team like the Pineapples, who are used to playing with their main three. To let that game one slip away, have the starting roster for this game two has to give them some confidence, and they do have a lot of pressure, as you said. But right now, Cram Beast with the clear downfield, and YSL there once again try to get a shot on target, but three people pretty much all go forward for that ball. Leaves this very awkward. Cram has a one-on-one, but no boost. Valnce, I think Valnce has to be the guy setting up these plays, whether that's just getting it off the backboard for another shot or just putting it in the back himself. And Valnce with the air dribble makes it look easy.
Yeah, and as you were talking about Valnce having to be the one to do something, he does it. He puts an air dribble on, beating over Case. Nobody else is there. Gets a nice goal to tie it up.
And that was probably the first time we saw a one-on-one opportunity where, Valnce has the ball in the air and there's one person to beat, and you have to put your money on Valnce every day of the week there. So that is a very difficult save, and finally a tie came coming through at a meaningful point in the game with halfway gone by. Paper trying to get this over to Valnce. Valnce looking for Rio. You can see the synergy, but that high bouncer makes this a very dangerous situation. Case looking for the backboard read, but Valnce way to shut it down before it gets dangerous. YSL off the corner, and three people commit. That is an open net, and starting roster or not, that is pretty much what we saw in game 1, a lot of overcommit.
Yeah, there's not much you could really do there. He whiffed, and I don't know who it was on the Pineapples, but it gave the ball up to YSL, and he had an open net for an easy shot.
Yeah, and that was a lack of trust right there that somebody had a touch. I'm sure somebody called the ball. Maybe all three of them said I got it, and then just was downhill from there. But Pineapples pretty much staying the entire game on the Thunderbirds half, which is a refreshing sight to see, but they still have one less goal to show for it than the few goals or few shooting opportunities that the Thunderbirds have had. A booming clear from Cram. Case up for this, trying to go for a bump, goes for the read himself, almost puts it on target. Case looking for the highlight reels finish right there. Just barely will be cleared away. And back to the Thunderbirds half we go, where we spent most of this game, but as the last 2 minutes roll around here, Finn, I mean, what exactly can the Pineapples do to keep themselves from staring down the barrel of a sweep right now?
No, they really gotta do some of these more aerial plays. That's what's worked for them, and they gotta keep up this pressure, try and put more shots on net, beat out these Thunderbirds, and that's all they can really do. As these Thunderbirds have great defense, so if the Thunderbirds keep beating the Pineapples to the ball, there's nothing the Pineapples can do. All they gotta do is be faster, and hopefully it all works out.
And Valnce has a shot here, but will be dunked up by YSL. That was a very heads-up play by YSL to get in the way of that play. His Case will have to corral this ball as it's very dangerous. A dunk comes through from Rio, but as I said, YSL, if he doesn't shut down that aerial tip by Valnce, that could have been dangerous because a lot of players were racing back for Thunderbirds. Paper will take this one from Valnce in the air, and a clear does go right to the arms of Rio. He'll put it up off the corner, but the backboard defense from YSL has been solid all series long, and so far they've only let one goal through in both of these games, and Valnce had a shot right there to prove me wrong, but it will not find the back of the net, and right now it is just panicking for Pineapples because everything they throw at the net is thrown away by probably YSL most of the times. And last 35 seconds here, Finn, I'm not too confident that the Pineapples can figure out a strategy to break this defense. As off the corner is the banging clear comes through. That is very dangerous. It goes right to the back of the net, and Pineapples are going to tie this up with 23 seconds left to go. And I think Finn's internet went boom, so we're rocking solo. But either way, Valnce just gets enough of that ball to get it over the defense. And tie game here is 23 seconds left to go. I mean, I don't know exactly what the Thunderbirds did wrong there, but leaving one guy back was their demise. As kickoff goes pretty even. And it'll just be a 50 in the midfield. YSL looking for the read off the backboard. But Rio is in the way to take control of it. Paper with the booming clear downfield. Last 10 seconds roll around. Cram with a whiff. Very dangerous situation here. Rio with the open net. And that is the Pineapples we're used to seeing, as they will finish off the goal right there and hopefully take this Game 2 victory before they get down 2-0 in the series.
Looks like I will be hopping in for Finn here for a second, but yeah, Pineapples Magic taking the 3-2 lead, only 7 seconds remaining, and now it's the Thunderbirds to try to answer back.
Yeah, and the kickoff goal will not be the best way to start it, a comeback with the last few seconds rolling around here. And either way, it will be a win for the Pineapples. They came out of nowhere here, as they were pretty much being shut down the entire game with all the pressure that they had, Austin. They could not find anything to go for them, but a couple whiffs came in late, and the Pineapples pretty much stole that game from them.
Yeah, and honestly, Magic, that's an impressive performance there, and it's good for the Pineapples to actually get their starting roster back in this one. As you know, they had the Challenge League sub in the first game, but Rio, he's there, and getting the starting roster that can do wonders for you. And you saw a good Pineapples squad there able to answer back, and now we got ourselves a series.
Yeah, and as you said, having their starting roster is huge, but it did take a little while to get cooking, as I think Rio was taking a nap or something, so maybe he's a little tired. Needed 4.5 minutes of that game for him to get locked in, as he does knock in the goal to send it to overtime, and it will end up being a Pineapples victory in Game 2, as I much prefer going into Game 3 on even footing than a reverse sweep being the only way we find ourselves with an interesting series. As we go to Game 3 here, Austin, I mean, I have no idea who's going to win this game, but I still feel like Thunderbirds look like the favorites whenever they're playing like they should.
Yeah, they looked solid in the Game 1, and they had their pressure for sure. And now as we get into this one, we're gonna have to see who comes out. It's a very important game for both teams. Pineapples got to win, Thunderbirds got to win, But this game could very well determine who's going to win this series, although it is game 3 out of best of 5, but whoever comes out with this one could have the big advantage as Valnce is hitting the banger onto net.
That was a great touch by Paper. Doesn't even have to put it on target. Makes it off the sidewall where that's very awkward for anybody to read. But, I mean, if someone's going to do it, it's Valnce. As I have never seen that goal explosion before, but Valnce makes it look good as he puts that one top 90. Pineapple's finally looking like they have the pace of play decided for themselves. As a very awkward pinch, Cram cannot get the touch. And Valnce, I mean, he's going to take that every day of the week.
Yeah, this one just one of those ones that, it's just unfortunate. 2 defenders from Pineapples are going after that one, and probably a ball that should have been saved, but it happens sometimes with those pinches, and the Pineapples looking good here in game 3. They're trying to show everyone that game 1 was a fluke. They had a sub in, and this is what they're like with the main roster.
Yeah, we're seeing the 9-4 Pineapples that we're used to now as another shot came through, but Paper and I think it was Rio both couldn't make the touch. And either way, I don't think it'll matter too much because right now, a 2-0 lead is the best thing the Pineapples have had all series. A shot opportunity for YSL, but sends it wide. It is still dangerous here. YSL trying to get over the defense, but I mean, 1v3, you have to take your money on the Pineapples here. Paper, no boost for the backboard read, but Valnce is there to clean up the work. And a 3-0 start is looking good for the Pineapples.
Yeah, this is huge for the Pineapples. They get a 3rd goal to fall in the back of net. Casey's trying to get to it, and Cram just drives right by it. Valnce gets a free shot on net, and 3-0 now for the Pineapples. And Magic, we're barely 45 seconds in. They've got 3 goals. They're looking to put a game 1 smack in on the Thunderbirds here.
Yeah, I mean, that game 2 victory pretty much turned their mental around. I've seen a lot of whiffs come through from Cram. I mean, to be fair, it's been pinches where he's had to make a save as third man. There's a bump opportunity. Cram can't make the play. But Cram, he's known for being a really great player, especially in these on-stream matches. But I have seen a few whiffs come in from him that have ended up in goals pretty much every time. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way about Cram, Austin, where he's not really the guy that you expect to make those whiffs.
Yeah, Cram, he's usually pretty solid here up in the rival league, and pretty much when you get to the rival league here, Magic, a lot of these people, they're pretty much always making solid touches. I mean, they're not tight league players by any means where you pretty much don't expect them to miss, but when you get a ball coming towards you, you expect them to hit them, especially in the rival league. These guys, high 1600s to 1700 players, so usually people are pretty solid, but everyone makes mistakes, Magic. Nobody's perfect. That's why that's why people are in rival league. That's why we're in Nemesis. We're not pros by any means here, but mistakes do happen. It's just about how you can regain and try to not let it happen again. Try to stay as consistent as you can.
Yeah, and former champion Cram was a champion last season, so he knows what it takes to recover from these mental errors. And right now, they have a lot more than mental errors to overcome right now because they're looking down the barrel of a 3-0 loss if they can't get something going for themselves. As K sends it to the midfield, very dangerous, but YSL is speedy enough for the task. Has a one-on-one opportunity if he can find a flick. Gets it over 2 people. YSL, I mean, everybody knew what he had to do, but he still made it happen.
Yeah, YSL, you got 2 people waiting there in net at YSL. They give him just enough space. No one challenging, and YSL flicks it by the first, and Rio, he's not able to get to it either. Pretty much resulting in that goal there and a solid play, and that's how you got to do it for the Thunderbirds. Got to counter back here, and that's a great start. We'll see if they can add to it and bring us closer.
And for the Pineapples, you cannot let 2 people just sit in net waiting for a flick save, as Cram is going to be there to put some respect back on his name as the Thunderbirds with 2 quick goals.
Yeah, YSL, a great play. Looking for that double tap. I think he got just enough of a touch, and Valnce, he was respecting that double tap, as he knows YSL mechanical player, but a follow-up shot comes through, and it's down to a 1-goal game after the Pineapples started out with 3 goals in the first 45 seconds. Thunderbirds now only within 1.
Yeah, this is a very high-powered offensive team in the Thunderbirds. This roster is made to score goals, and that is what they do. And they do it very quickly with the Brazil in Game 1. Game 2, they had it the entire way until the end. And Game 3 has looked very rough, but their offense is finally clicking a little bit here as YSL is setting up most of these plays as he's looking great. Case trying to get involved, and he's been very quiet in this Game 3. But right there, he had a shot. It will be saved away. 2 minutes roll around here as YSL tries to get it over Paper, and that probably would have been a goal if so, as Cram was just waiting for that ball to come to his arms where he would have slotted that every day. And right now, Rio trying to get some pressure back for the Pineapples because they're being suffocated here. And Austin, it's 1 goal needed for the Thunderbirds to take this game back in control, but Valnce is going to make it where it's 2 goals needed for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, in case he tries to get this touch here, but that is just about the worst touch you can get. He hit it off the sidewall, and Cram, he was probably expecting YSL to be a little bit closer to that one to get the save, but you got to be careful with those ones. When you're rotating back, you can't hit it too hard off the sidewall when you're rotating, because defenders like that, especially a guy like Valnce, he will slot him in the back of the net, and Pineapples re-add to their lead.
And a minute and a half left to go here. They've shown they can score 2 goals in a row within 15 seconds of each other or so. But doing it twice in one game is a pretty daunting task, because this Pineapples team has been very good on defense these last couple games. Towards the end of Game 2 and most of Game 3, they've had 2 slip-ups for sure in this game, but so far been pretty solid. But last minute to go here, it's got to be very quick for the Thunderbirds, as they cannot be spending their time on the defensive half. As a whip does come through, that gives an opportunity. Case cannot get a touch. Cram will have to get a bang downfield, but Paper with a great third man clear puts it off backboard and is still dangerous off the crossbar. Cram somehow gets a touch. Valnce has to make a save and will do so off his own backboard. Gives Paper a little boost forward, and he has all the time in the world to get a clear. Probably should have played a little slower there and let some time tick off the clock to play a 50, but either way it works out. 35 seconds left to go here, Austin. And I'm not sure what the game plan has to be here, but it cannot be letting another shot in the back of the net that might wrap up Game 3.
Yeah, and you see Rio is just hunted for that demo down there, and it leaves it wide open for Valnce. And I mean, when you're the last defender like that, you're just scared. You're like, this is it for me. And it was definitely it for them, for the Thunderbirds right there. And that's probably going to be the game, and probably the dagger in this one, unless Thunderbirds pull back a miracle. But Pineapples played really solid in this game, started out strong. Thunderbirds got back in it, but then, Magic, a great answer from the Pineapples, and they're going to look to take this series in 4 games on the next map.
Yeah, and all 52 people that that picked Pineapples on the survey, yeah, we knew this was going to happen. We knew they would start slow. We never had any doubt whenever they got Brazil in Game 1. And going into Game 4 now, with the chance to take the 3-1 win in the series, where they were looking like they were going to get swept with the last about minute and a half left to go in that Game 2. Now they're in control of the series. As it does hit the floor here, Pineapples looking like their old selves here, and it's got to be back to the drawing board for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and you have to wonder what the Thunderbirds are going to try to pull out here, as the table just got turned on them. A great game, 5-2 win in favor of the Pineapples. Then that shot total, Magic, 11-6 on the board for them. And I mean, just the Pineapples, they really put the pressure to them.
Yeah, Pineapples only had to make 2 saves that game, and they were pretty much just banging the ball downfield, and someone just clears it off to the side as a Pineapples defender. It wasn't a lot of diving for a save to keep a goal at the back of the net. It was the goals that the Thunderbirds did get were pretty solid, just a pass into an easy finish. And I mean, YSL, he played very well that game. I want to call him out, because he had the 1v2 goal, has another pass to set up Cram for a goal, and it just seems like no matter what he did, it was just too much pressure being put on them on defense for him to do it alone. So Case was 68 points. That is not what he's known for. He's a pop-off player, and it's got to be him changing something up going into Game 4, or this is going to be a 3-1 loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I was going to bring it up if you didn't, Case, got to see a little more out of him. We saw him doing well in the other games, but in this last game, 0s across the board and 68 points. So we're going to have to see if Case can battle back, and if the Thunderbirds themselves are also going to bring a battle back, as this is important for them. If they lose this game, it could end up being their play-in and playoff hopes. So it's a series that they got to win, and this is a game they got to win to force that Game 5.
Absolutely right. As we do find ourselves back on Forbidden Temple, you love to see it back in the rotation, as we've all missed the weird shenanigans that go on. The corners might be a little faster on the bounce, but it is much more entertaining on stream, as 3-1 is not the scoreline that the Thunderbirds are hoping for. So I think we're all down for a Game 5 here, and it has to start with some offensive firepower. And I mean, it doesn't matter how many goals you give up if you're the Thunderbirds. You just have to shoot some yourself. Make the defense for the Pineapples a little awkward. Case trying to do just that. Sends it off the backboard. Valnce has been so solid. 3 people go for the Pineapples. I mean, that's the first time we've seen that ever from the Pineapples for sure, right? But either way, it will not be too dangerous. And right now, Austin, it looks like the Thunderbirds finally found their way into the Pineapples having the field. I still had a shot, and that would have been the dagger to give them some life in the series. But now Valnce is going to clear it downfield to Paper. Paper will put it on target, but either way, a minute to go. so or a minute has gone by so far in this game, and nothing really showing itself for the Thunderbirds yet.
Yeah, and this is an interesting play here. Sanzo has come in to this roster, and he's gonna be replacing Cram as this one shot towards the net. And I think Thunderbirds just trying to get something. I believe Sanzo has been starting for the majority of the Thunderbirds games, so trying to get that chemistry back with this three-man lineup, getting Cram out of there and seeing what it'll do. And I'm curious to see what the main roster Thunderbirds now are gonna bring. Is they're kind of down to their last life here. They had some good pressure early, but really, Magic, they got to get back to that game 1 pressure where they just had dominating offense. That is how they're going to beat the Pineapples and force them to double, triple commit.
Yeah, exactly right. As you saw a double commit right as you said that, and I think that is exactly the main fault for the Pineapples most of the time. That gets them scored on as a shot comes through YSL. He's always the guy to do it, and he's going to do it again here.
Yeah, YSL, he's put on a great performance here. His Valnce just loft this one up. Sanzo just diamond up YSL there. And that ball going in over the defender. Just enough there. And the Thunderbirds, they take the lead here in Game 4, looking to force that Game 5. An excellent start here.
Exactly right. And Valnce probably had the boost to work with there. I don't know why he didn't take that to the sky, but it will work out as Rio is going to tie this game up. Valnce knew it all along, and we have a tie game.
Yeah, this one a little bit awkward as Valnce was putting some pressure on YSL, and Rio, he's just waiting in the midfield. That ball's so close to being saved, but not meant to be. And we are all tied up here in Game 4.
And it looks like kickoffs are really what gets the goals scored on for the Thunderbirds. So many times YSL has an open net, he's going to put it bar down. Did you ever have any doubt that he was going to miss that shot?
No, I mean, YSL just so great in this series, and he just has to loft this one towards net. A little bit high, but he does just enough to get it down, crossbar and in, and YSL just putting the team on his back. He's going to try to will these guys to a victory here for the Thunderbirds to keep them in that race for that division lead. It's a close battle between them, Arrival, Galaxy, and Gravelords. They're all within 1 game of each other, so this series so important, and YSL's going to do his best to try to get his team to the playoffs.
Yeah, and with a win here, a lot of play-in and playoff implications, as you stated. Pineapple's trying to get themselves into the top half and stay out of the play-in tournament, and a loss here would probably not be the best way to do that, but they're looking solid here. Rio had a shot, but it is off the post, and that's one of those you really have to take. Otherwise, this game's going to bleed out quickly. Whenever the Thunderbirds get pressure, it seems to work out. It's a very dangerous situation. Nobody gets a touch. Just a standoff in front of the net, and it's still very scary here, but Sanzo makes a touch and puts it over one, but Valnce is not going to allow it to go any farther. Case puts it off the ceiling, not the best clear, and the pressure will stay on here. 2 people overcommit here. Rio looking for a bump, paper off the corner. Valnce had a shot, but a great cut by YSL, recognizing the danger that was coming. And finally a chance for the Thunderbirds to counterattack, but you can see it's just the cuts coming through in the midfield from the Pineapples that are so dangerous. A shot for paper off the crossbar, and that probably would have been the shot they've been looking for a very long time. They've had so much pressure, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, they're still looking here, Magic, trying to find something, and they're trying to put all the pressure here. The ball's just been stuck in the Thunderbird zone, and it feels like it's only a matter of time. Thunderbirds need to get a boost and get a clear here as they are getting suffocated. YSL at the corner, and this ball just keeps coming back towards the net, but Sanzo, a clutch save on the goal line, and they really desperately need some boost, Magic.
Dude, Paper saw the pass, he made it happen, but another insane save comes through. I think it was YSL, as K's trying to get fancy with it off the ceiling, but it will end up going the other way here. YSL can't make a touch. Paper has a shot opportunity, but it will just send it wide. Looking for the pass, but Sanzo will not allow it. Weird pinch comes off the ceiling. Very dangerous situation. Valnce trying to get not get bumped, but I don't think it'll matter as YSL is going to make it a 2-goal lead now.
I mean, again, just YSL is all over this field right now. Like I said, he's going to will his team to the playoffs if it comes to it. And he's doing that here in a game number 4. Another goal in the back of the net for the Thunderbirds. And they can hold on for 58 seconds. We'll be heading to our game 5 here, which will be a great way to start out tonight's stream.
Exactly right. And I was honestly surprised whenever they took Cram out as a shot comes through. And, instead of Case, because Case was for sure the lowest performing player in that last game. But I think you pointed out this old roster that they've had so many games with together is showing why it works. And it may not have been the best successful, with a 3-8 start, but so far it's looking great as Cram happy to sit on the bench when his team can make a Game 4 victory come through, as it has to be now for the Pineapples. So much pressure in this game, but they just could not find anything more than what I said in pressure. YSL trying to get one for the road, looks for the reset, 2 people up, goes for the 50, a great 50, but now it's a very important counter-attack opportunity for Paper. Last few seconds roll around, gives a good pinch mid, but nobody's there to make the shot, and that will do it for Game 4. And we find ourselves on Champions Field going into Game 5, and what more can you ask for these 2 teams in the rival league?
Yeah, and good to see here. Forbidden Temple comes back, Magic. We get to a Game 5. That's what we love to see here on this stream. And yeah, the Thunderbirds, they just brought the pressure back. As we talked about with the Pineapples, you had to suffocate them. You had to get the pressure going. You see it 10 shots in this game to 6, forcing the Pineapples into a lot of awkward saves and then resulting in a few goals. And just an impressive performance there from the Thunderbirds, Magic. And now we got to see, can they close it out? Will they keep the same roster? Will they switch it up a little bit? I'm not sure. I'd expect they'd stay with the same roster here, especially after that last game. But we'll have to see heading into Game 5.
And all honestly, Case didn't really do much more than he did in Game 1. He kind of just played that third man role, and it looked like Sanzo a lot of the time just getting banging clears, and YSL is in the right place at the right time. That one goal where he just redirected it off the pass from Sanzo. That just shows if you're the Pineapples, you cannot allow YSL to just cherry pick downfield and get these 3 goals, because all 3 of them, are all from YSL, and they were just him hitting shots where nobody got in the way. So as you go to Game 5 here, Austin, you didn't get to predict this series. You weren't exactly expecting this situation, but if you had the opportunity to pick the winner in Game 5, who are you rolling with?
I don't know, Magic. After seeing the last game, I'm feeling like the Thunderbirds could have it here, but it's going to depend on who they bring in the lobby here. If they keep the same roster, I think they've got a good shot, and it looks like they are going to do that. So, I'm going to pick the Thunderbirds here. I think they may be able to clutch this one up, but we're going to have to find out as we're heading into Game 5.
Yep, and the 16 people that voted for the Thunderbirds are feeling themselves right now, about to look like geniuses, as Sanzo has a shot opportunity, a bump opportunity as well for YSL. Case is too far away. If he can get a shot, it's there, and it'll finally go to the back of the net. That was chaos, and luckily it does end up in a goal.
Yeah, just calamity in front of the net, just bumps and shots, and Casey just puts it in a slow roller. It was almost saved by his teammate, but they strike first in Game 5, a huge first goal for the Thunderbirds.
And YSL went for a bump and didn't get it. Sanzo had a shot, and he couldn't get it, so it was Case who had to clean everything up, and Case will make the save here, having a little bit more presence in this Game 5 than he did in the last couple games, and you love to see it. When all 3 of these players pop off, I'd have to say the Thunderbirds, they're a scary team, as YSL cannot find the read here. And Paper trying to get a lead blocker, but Rio will just step back and get out of the way. Shot comes through from Valnce, but a huge dunk from Sanzo. That's what I pointed out in that last game. Sanzo with a lot of booming clears. Case had a shot, and if he put it a little more left, I think it was in. A demo from YSL makes it chaos. Case has an open net, but another block. And it just seems like the Thunderbirds are not expecting these mistakes from the Pineapples, and it's not resulting in goals because of it.
Yeah, I think Magic, they were trying to fake challenge, and when they fake challenge, they expected the Pineapples to still go for the ball. They didn't expect the fake to actually work, and a couple of times the fakes worked there, and maybe an unintentional fake there, but it's working. And Thunderbirds just have to be confident themselves to see if they can add to this lead. But the Pineapples are looking to strike back here, but it's cleared off to the corner, and see if they can slot one here to tie it up as a minute and a half gone by.
Yeah, and a whiff comes through from Paper, but the pressure has been the best friend of the Pineapples. It seems like non-stop we're on the Thunderbirds half, but right now it's been pretty much the opposite of that. Sanzo off the sidewall has boost to work with, looking for Case in the midfield, but Rio will make the save. YSL looking for the shot angle, can't find it, but there's Case to finish it off, and it just comes from the hands of YSL, and Case gets his second of the game.
YSL, he's trying to hit this read. He almost hit that read right there. That would have been absolutely insane if he hit that angle. But the next best thing, a perfect pass to his teammate off the backboard. Case slots it home, and the Thunderbirds are feeling themselves here in this Game 5. Pineapples are reeling a little bit. They got to try to turn things back around and get some boost control and stop getting suffocated in their own zone, because Thunderbirds are just having their way right now.
Yeah, and the main thing I would say is you have to stop expecting the Thunderbirds to make plays where you just dive in front of it and then they fake you, and then the ball just floats awkwardly in your half and just waiting for a shot to come through. Because right now a banging shot comes on, but probably if that were a little more accurate, it could have been dangerous as a whip comes through, YSL with a very uncharacteristic whiff. It will not be too dangerous. Rio putting it off the sidewall to Valnce. Valnce with a banger, and it will find the top corner. Almost a save comes through, but it will find the top corner.
Yeah, just enough power here, and this just goes to show you how important it is to get a hard shot on net. Sometimes it's not about placement, sometimes it's just about speed. And Valnce, he put it towards net with speed. It may have been at the defender, but you put enough speed on it, it makes it awkward, and it goes in. The Pineapples have some life here as we approach the halfway point. This game far from over yet.
Yep, and Thunderbirds with a win here would tie with Vortex for that 10th spot in the play-in competition, as Case, he wants that spot so bad, and right now this is looking all Thunderbirds, as even when a goal comes through from Pineapples, it's an immediate answer from the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, just a huge answer. And yeah, the Thunderbirds, like we mentioned, they are in a dead heat. I mean, the three people in the Central Division are tied at 5 and 8. Arrivals leading at 6 and 7. So they know the stakes of every game going here on out. And this ball dangerous in front of the net, but Valnce going to clear it away. And yeah, a lot of play-in hopes and playoff hopes on the line, as Pineapples are also trying to get out of that play-in tournament. They currently sit at the 7 seed. So I mean, with time ticking away, you know, a lot of pressure on them to also bounce back. They're going to have to find 2 here, because they're trying to look for passing play, but a little bit too close on that one. And 2 minutes remaining, going to need 2 goals to make it happen.
And it's going to have to be Paper setting up Valnce for a shot. It seems like every time it's Paper looking for a pass infield, and somebody finishes off the play. And dangerous ball here. Case can't make a touch, and that is a crucial mistake from Case. Couldn't have the read. I don't know if he didn't have the boost. Whatever it is, Paper up the backboard, and Rio there to finish it off.
Yeah, I am not sure what happened to Case there. You don't expect that, and I think Sanzo maybe could have gone backboard there, as they both kind of rotated in front of the net, and tough mistake, but Rio, he's going to capitalize and keep the Pineapples. They are alive in this one. Going to only need 1 goal, and with 2 minutes, that is plenty of time for them to make something happen.
In Case with the no-way quick chat, he's as surprised as we are. A very unusual mistake from a very clutch player. He will send this downfield, but right to the waiting arms of Rio. YSL gets it over 1, but his rotations are so clean from the Pineapples. Seems like if they played this way non-stop, this would be an easy series. But it's the weird mistakes like that, just the random whiffs. As Case had a shot opportunity, Paper gets bumped. It's dangerous, but Valnce makes a save. Keeps his team in this game. Valnce trying to look for the solo play himself. Cannot get it past the waiting arms of YSL, who's just waiting for Valnce to make a touch. And now YSL off the backboard. Case with a shot opportunity will be saved away. Rio awkward in the midfield. Paper will help him out. That is dangerous for YSL, or excuse me, for Sanzo, who will make the save. And there's YSL to dunk out 1. 50 seconds left to go here. Case has an open net. Tries to get it past 2, but Valnce makes a save. So many clutch saves from Valnce, trying to keep his team with the win here. But I don't know, Austin. Time ticks away so quickly here, and the Pineapples cannot crack the code.
Look at both teams, just so many close attempts. The Pineapples, I don't know how they survive. It's another shot going towards the net. It's just off. The Pineapples, they are holding on by a thread here with 30 seconds remaining. They just need to find 1 as a demo comes through. Can they do it here? 20 seconds left.
The backflip.
No!
Case! The own goal from Case will tie up the game. This is so unlucky. YSL backflips. Sanzo hits it right off of Paper, right off of Case. I mean, what more can you do with your Case there?
Oh my goodness, that is just so tough to take if you're the Thunderbirds. You're playing so well, and an unfortunate kick or unfortunate 50 just doesn't go your way. And now to the final seconds here, it all comes down to this: is the Thunderbirds looking to attack. Case trying to drive it in, looking for the buzzer beater. It's YSL. He does it again. He clutches up for the Thunderbirds.
Who else would it be than YSL? He backflipped on that last goal, and he wants revenge. He knows it was his fault, and he's going to get the answer. With 6 seconds left to go, the Pineapples, it's now or never to send this to overtime, or the Thunderbirds will pull off the upset. Kickoff is dead even, and another 50 comes through. This one in the favor of Valnce. We're going the right way if you're a Pineapples fan, and it will hit the ground. They cannot get under it. The Thunderbirds just steal that one out of nowhere. Heartbreak for the Pineapples, and they get the upset. And the survey didn't believe in them, but they believed in themselves. The roster change coming through. Sanzo makes the difference, and the Thunderbirds will take it in Game 5.
I mean, that was just a YSL series. I mean, he just performed so well every time you needed something to clutch from him. He came up with it, and it was just an excellent performance from him to take it all the way. And Thunderbirds, I mean, that's just a huge victory for the Magic as now they bring themselves a game closer to a rival for that division lead and possibly a playoff spot, and keep them a game closer to the play-in race. So I mean, just a huge win from them to survive everything that happened in that game. And a tough one to swallow for the Pineapples for sure. But they are still right on the edge of the playoffs and play-in race, so they're pretty solidly in the postseason. But we'll have to see how the final games turn out for them and see if they can regain heading into next week.
Yeah, and we all love game fives, but that one did go a little long, so we're not gonna hold y'all here too long as we have the Kings and the Knights looking to clash it off in our second match of the stream. So we appreciate all you guys for hanging out and watching this first banger of the night, but I'm pretty confident we have two more 5 game series coming your way. So shout out to Finn for rocking through with the first couple, and shout out to Austin for coming up clutch. But that will do it for us in game one. As we'll see y'all back for game two. Don't go anywhere.